The power of the internet compels you.
HTKB, HTKB, HTKB. This is the house that Kamurai built. Time to get started.
Hey, it's been a little bit, but that's okay. I've just been busy in other things, and I still don't have all those done. So when I get done with this, I will probably go back to that. Today I'd like to talk about dying technologies. I had this idea before VidCon even came out, and VidCon would have been the perfect time to discuss this. Because that's what VidCon was all about. VidCon was about how YouTube's making a rise, and independent people can provide entertainment instead of millions and millions of dollars going down holes for movies to be made. And it was a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I wasn't there, but I would have loved to have been there, and I would have loved to actually have been more consistent with this kind of thing before that happened. So maybe next year, maybe that'll be my goal. We'll see. My biggest thing about that is downloadable content. DVDs, CDs, Blu-ray discs. That's great that we get this quality. It's great that we have that kind of storage capacity, but technology is rising so far, so fast, that hard drives can store terabytes for so cheap. You get a flash drive that does, I don't know, 20 gigabytes. I'm sure they're out there much larger. I just haven't bothered to research. You're already seeing like the death of CDs in progress. They almost aren't even bothering putting albums out as much anymore. The first thing that they go to is iTunes, because everybody wants to buy songs. I want to listen to this song, so I go and download that song. That's the way people think. They don't think like, oh, I need that CD. Oh, Green Day's coming out with a new CD. I gotta have it. They're like, oh, I wonder what's on that CD. And typically nowadays, people are more like, oh, I heard this on the radio, or I heard this playing here. I want that song. And they don't bother to think about the rest of the album. But I understand that there are music lovers out there who do buy the album, and that's how they do it, and that's great because that's how those bands make the itty-bitty amount of money that they make through the label. I'd much rather see people putting out their own things through iTunes and get away from labels and let the labels die. That's just me. Television is already being played over the internet. You go to NBC.com, I'm sure you can watch a few episodes of things. I know Heroes used to be on there. Netflix is a great example of watching movies streamed. Hulu is another good example. Operations like Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along blog. You're seeing similar things with the radio with Pandora is probably the biggest one I can think of. And now they have adverts and whatnot for the free version. That's fine. It's still a lot better than trying to listen to the radio in the car. Minus talk shows, because I do like talk shows every now and again. But you get music and whatnot. Eventually they'll expand it where you can do comedian station or talk show station, I'm sure. And that's just going to be tube-style conversation shows that are going to be downloaded and streamed where they do talk shows like that. And that's what you'll listen to in the car. Hopefully you're not smart enough to try to watch it and drive at the same time when you finally get that. Or off your iPod or iPhone, because let's face it, everyone's doing that now. We're off an Android stuff, which is probably terrible, if not better. The cinema is also already on the decline, as well as CDs are and movies and MP3s. But the cinema's downfall is the home entertainment center. So many people are setting up home theaters now where you have surround sound and this and that, and 50,000-inch screens for their televisions. And all a television is a big monitor, folks. Given the right inputs and outputs, you can hook a computer up to it just like you would if the technology is done right. That's all it was anyways. It's a big monitor that your DVD player plays. And guess what? That DVD player is a computer. It just doesn't do all the cool stuff that your desktop or laptop or phone does nowadays. But imagine hooking up those movies that you watch on your phone, hooking it up to your 50-inch screen. That's where it's going. That's why cinemas are going to be out, and that's why television is going to be out. This all leads me to the concept of the pocket PC. Eventually, cars are going to have either a computer built into it, or they're going to have a docking station for you to pocket PC style thing into it so that it can communicate. It's going to work through GPS, handle your radio. See, how great would that be for you to be able to hit a button on your phone and then you can hear people through your radio, much like many of the hands-free devices that we have. It's just another integration technique. And that leads into the same thing. Why carry around a device that only does voice applications? Guess what? That's called a phone. Phones are dying technology. Eventually, we'll go to a pocket PC that will run a voice app using the internet, and we won't need these phone lines. The phone lines may convert to connect to the internet, which would be very helpful, and that would probably streamline things like switchboards, because the internet handles that through TCP/IP protocols and whatnot. Instead of carrying one device that only does voice applications, it's going to carry a device that does many things, whether it be a laptop or an iPad or a Kindle, whatever it is. The Pocket PC isn't here yet. A BlackBerry, an Android phone, an iPhone, iPad, I'm sure all very close. iPad is the first thing that I ever saw that is what I've been talking about for years now. A laptop folds up and only has this amount of battery life and it's doing all this extra work. There's got to be a nice balance. I'm not saying that you need something to replace your laptop, though that could be nice and that could be another 50 years down the road. But we're within our grasp to have a pocket-sized device, however large a pocket that is, that does everything that a laptop can do at a lower power, so gamers may not get everything they want out of it. You may have some small discrepancies for video quality just because of the size of the screen and the processing power, but who's to say you can't hook that up to another monitor when you have a stationary moment? Someone told me that Android's doing a response to the iPad, which I have utter confidence in them that they'll do it right the first time. They'll take the extra amount of time. They may even wait till the iPad's second version comes out and Apple dukes it up just a little bit, because let's face it, the iPad came out just too soon. Because Apple wanted something out on the shelves, generating revenue, so that they could fund to keep working on it, which is fine. It makes sense. I get it. It just sucks that they got to put out a product that's not all it could be. Android's response should be more than adequate. And maybe if that does come out first, Apple will go and look at it and be like, oh, well, maybe that's what we should have done. And they'll do everything that Android did, and they'll do one more. And maybe I'll actually be an Apple fan for once. Because credit where credit's due, OS X is good stuff, and the iPad is a good idea. I'm not saying it's done well, but it's a good idea. The short version of all this is that every device that is involved with entertainment will eventually hook on the power of the internet. Let's face it, that's our centralized point of information. When you go and you want to find information, where do you go? You go to the internet. You don't go to libraries. You don't go to books anymore. You don't typically go to television and wait for them to show you things. You go to where you can demand the information and you pull it up because you have that power to go and search. It's where the future is going. I probably haven't told or said anything that any of you didn't know, but quite honestly, I've been wanting to talk about this for well over a month, almost 2 months. Oh, that's so sad. I have not set time aside to do these things. Anyways, I'm Kamurai. Have a nice day.